Hello, everyone. Harry here to talk about the report that Donald Trump told his probation officer that he possesses a gun. And why is that a big deal? Because Donald Trump is a felon. He is a felon right now under New York law, and federal law prohibits and criminalizes the possession of a gun by a felon. So he is potentially in flagrant or very straightforward violation of federal law. I have a piece in The Atlantic. It came out a couple days ago that this is a perfect illustration of, and the piece goes through why Trump has gone over to the other side of a steep divide where he is now a convict and his life probably forever, because he's almost certain to get probation. That lasts 5 years. And then there are the other cases waiting. Even if he becomes president, at least the Fulton County case potentially is there. But just when you're, and this is a big part of the piece, once you're in the clutches of the criminal justice system, shit happens. And here we go. Why do we know he has a gun? Because he had to tell the probation officer, because if you would lie to the probation officer, you'd be in all kinds of trouble. So he reported, I had 3 guns. 2 of them have been surrendered. The other was moved lawfully to Florida. Huh? That's a very suspicious point. And again, if it were pre-convict Trump, maybe it would just, go under the rug. But I don't know what it means for him if he is in possession of that gun, and he can certainly be in constructive possession of that gun, though it be in Florida. He's committing a federal offense, and a continuing one. We found this out with Hunter Biden, right? The 3rd count was for possessing the gun while he was using drugs. So basically, it was an ongoing crime all through the period after he bought the gun for those 11 days. That was one of the crimes charged. Likewise, here, he's in possession of it, unless there's some very sort of far-fetched argument that he doesn't have constructive control of the gun. He is a felon. That's against the law. So something's got to give. It may well be that I don't expect it would be New York to bring a charge today, but it could. And in any event, I don't think they can abide his possession of the gun, and they're going to tell him. It's one of the many, many, many ways, some impossible to anticipate now, that his being on that side of the convict line is very is a game changer for his life. So we'll see how this plays out. It's just a report from that we don't have a transcript or anything from the probation office, but it's no joking around. If you're a convict and you have fessed up, and of course he had to fess up, that's the whole other point to having a gun. You sure as hell better do something to remedy it, and pronto. And it's an example of dozens to come that rock Trump's world and change his ability to just act in an unfettered way. So this has just come out. We'll see how it continues to play out. We'll see if there's any claim at all of it having been lawfully transferred. But the guy's committing a felony as we're sitting here. It's a felony of exact same gravity as Hunter Biden's 3rd. And so the system needn't, now that he's a convict, just turn a blind eye to it. Normally, it's a whole big thing to charge someone and get approval, and can you prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, et cetera. But if you're on probation, you're already legally obligated not to commit other crimes, and the probation officer just says, hey, you're committing a crime, reports it to the court, and they can do a number of things, including if you have a sentence that has been stayed, a sentence of probation, put you right in jail. Now, of course, he doesn't have that sentence yet, though he is still a convict, but he's playing with fire, and I expect that will become known fairly quickly. It's just a sort of situation that a convict can't treat casually, and that I expect the New York Probation Office and the New York criminal justice system won't treat casually. There's some chance it stays in sort of abeyance pending the actual sentence, which is now set for a month, 29 days from today. But this is an issue for Donald Trump, the convict, that just didn't exist for Donald Trump, the free man. And that status change, as I say in the article, ain't going away. We'll put a little link to the article in this piece, but it's a splendid illustration of the whole new life that confronts Donald Trump in the wake of his conviction on 34 different counts. Now, this has some resonance with what happened already when he might have violated his conditions of release. He wasn't on probation at the time, but they had boasted, the Trump team, that he had purchased a gun while on release. And Jack Smith submitted a brief to the court, the D.C. court, saying he can't do this. This is the condition of release for him, and you're not allowed to buy a gun. But Trump walked that back. It was it had to do with a video posting that seemed to suggest, that he was buying a Glock. I've got to buy one, he says in the video, and then it basically, the campaigns, oh, just kidding, or, it was just campaign rhetoric, et cetera. So, the rubber didn't hit the road there. But again, assume he's on probation, which he isn't yet. That would be, that kind of claim would be much quicker to, rather than coming in and, well, either way, you could violate him for conditions of release, or you could yank him from probation. But it's a very straightforward and regularly enforced provision of probation that you don't commit other crimes. And that's the classic way when you do commit a crime, and you don't have to necessarily, show it in court beyond a reasonable doubt, that people's probation are violated and they wind up in jail. So it's not as if tomorrow, as I say, he's going to wind up in jail for this, but he's going to have to do something to get rid of this gun. And it's a illustration that he is already in sort of permanent lukewarm water that's a very bad image. He's already permanently in hot water that can boil over when he does things that he sort of was used to doing when he was a completely free man. So that's the situation with convict Trump and his probably unlawful possession of a gun in Florida that he had to fess up to the probation office truthfully, again, because he is convict Trump. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.